We're Robin and Steve. In the last episode, we took down the sails of Rakali for the last time before the great boat swap. We'll be moving into and fixing up a bigger boat. Have we bitten off more than we can chew? We had been given the wrong keys, but now we finally can get inside. The previous owner had intended on coming back, so we have a lot of gear to sort out.
There's not two battery sets here, it's all joined together. I don't understand how he's got it set up.
And new systems to understand, from batteries to GPS, to what switches, pipes and valves lay underneath and in the compartments. Where all the instruction manuals are, like this map of pipes, to what new pots and pans we have, to what condition the engine is in, to how the head or toilet works, and how to make the contents go either to the holding tank or to sea.
Fills it up, and switch the switch over, and then that empties it out. This goes in the bilge.
Luckily, the holding tank wasn't leaking, but parts of the deck were leaking. We had to rip out a lot of mould. Great forests of mould had taken over some compartments inside. This wood had to go. Luckily, it's all decorative and not structural. It smelled bad. But we did find good surprises.
What's in here? Oh, hello. And also,
Secret compartment. It still looked like a bomb had hit it inside, but we had guests. Steve's parents had come. And even with a broken ankle, Russell made it aboard. With some of the mountains of mould and junk cleared, it was beginning to look pretty nice inside. Soon we'd send some of the boat's treasures back to England to be with their owner. Then we could really unpack and start a garden of sorts and continue to figure out all the bits and pieces on this boat.
might be a bit of fucking around with the engine. Yeah.
Oops, language warning. Oh, late. Oops. Everything seemed a bit bigger. The mast, the whisker pole, the sails, and a bit of a shock to the system, this boat had mirrors. The bittersweet of life with mirrors. Under the floor lie all-important valves.
And this is the desalinator which tank it fills. So I'm not worried about that just
So we could make our own drinking water and make power from moving through the water. The blades of this water generator turn if the boat's moving fast enough to trickle feed our battery with power. This gets lowered into the water if we're going fast enough. Wind, sun, moisture and salt had taken their toll on our awnings. Thank goodness for the speedy stitcher. Podcasts help us through these situations.
A crucial part of the life cycle of any virus is making heaps of copies of its own little package of genetic material.
Sirena was from Orr in the UK, but soon will be based in Cygnet, Tasmania, where we'd come from, in Rakali. Now Rakali was all emptied and scrubbed and ready for the next owner. This had been our home for nearly 9 months and kept us safe even crossing the Bass Strait. I felt like I couldn't give her a proper farewell without one final handstand inside. What a nice boat. Meanwhile, it was time to pull Sirena out of the water. Now we're no strangers to scrubbing hulls and redoing anti-foul. A tiny tugboat helped us reverse into the slips. Sirena was then lifted up, driven out, and given a good spray. The marina was abuzz. How damaged was Sirena's hull after years of neglect? Well, everyone was pleasantly surprised. This bright blue anti-fouling had held up well, and the growth came off beautifully. Next, Sirena was driven on and parked where she'd be propped up on stands. Our lovely boat neighbour let us use his ladder. We scraped off some growth while it was fresh out of the water and did evict some residents before resting on this ship out of water. Time to prepare for painting. Steve taped above the waterline. Say goodbye to this sparkly blue anti-foul. Black's cheaper. Must say, Steve and I are a mean team at this now. Without anti-foul, mussels and algae grow on the boat, slowing it down. A bit like entering a swimming race in a heavy, shaggy tracksuit. So there's something foul in anti-foul that stops the boat being fouled. This is the first of 2 coats of black. And then we let out some anchor chain. We mark every 10 metres in a set colour sequence. Red, yellow, green, blue, so that we know that, for instance, the first red is 10 metres of chain out. Between coats, it absolutely poured. We knew this was coming and timed it as best as we could. For us, a trip to the loo involved climbing down a wet ladder into a fairly toxic pool of water to get to the public toilets. This time I'm not off to the loo, but to the daily ukulele lesson that happens at this cute marina. I learnt to play Waltzing Matilda with a Canadian and a Colombian. Join us next time as we finally take this boat sailing and take Rakali and her new owner sailing, before both sailing off at the same time.